Hello everyone, welcome to the Shelly streaming room. I'm super excited to see that we already have more than 150 people on the live stream. This is amazing. Honestly, the interest around this webinar was huge. And I believe this is because we put a lot of energy together with Homey to create every single piece of this webinar. The presentation, the amazing setup that we have here. And I'm super thrilled to announce that Coen Koop, who is the CCO of Homey, is here, and he will walk us through Homey, and we will learn all together here about Homey from the actual expert. At the beginning, we will start with the actual presentation. Coen will walk you through the slides, and at the end, we will move to the demonstration. We have prepared one setup in the streaming room here. And the second demo will be led by Coen. And at the end, we will open the actual Q&A. That's why I invited everyone to ask their questions to the chat. Add your open questions. And at the end, when we open the Q&A floor, we will read and answer them for you. Thank you very much. Now I'm just going to say welcome, Coen, to the Shelly streaming room. I know it's online, but still. And yeah, really happy to have you here. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation.
Well, thank you very much, Jeanette, for this opportunity. And thank you all for joining this webinar today. Maybe it's good that I'll start with sharing my screen. That would be this one. There you go. Is that visible for everyone? I hope so.
Yeah.
So today, indeed, like Jeanette told, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Homey in the following steps. First, we're going to do a little introduction about Homey. Then something about the first setup and the pairing of a new device, as that is indeed the basis. After that, we'll talk about local control and tools for remote management for you as an installer. Automations is where smart home goes from connected to smart. So we'll show you 3 different ways of making automations, and then dashboards and insights. As there's so much data being gathered by all different smart home devices, you may want to see and track all of that. This will then all be followed by a live demo, after which you can raise your questions. Introduction. The introduction of Homey. So Homey was founded 11 years ago with one mission. Let different smart home products work together with different technologies. And that's exactly what we do. We have a single platform where more than 1,000 brands and 50,000 devices work together. These can all be connected via our Homey Pro, a smart home hub that replaces them all. And it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Z-Wave, Zigbee, Matter, Thread, 133 MHz, and even infrared on board. Combining this with loads of different cloud-connected devices, and you have a very powerful system. Next to this, there are tons of all sorts of integrations with services, such as maybe your energy provider or your local weather service, that allow you to make even more powerful automations. So first, I'd like to tell you about 3 different use cases that are relevant for you as an installer. And the first is Homey Healthcare. We all know someone who needs a little bit of care and help in daily routines. So why not help use smart home for the things that actually need to be done, and use your personal energy and the relationship to address only the fun stuff. So, an example. Maybe your parent lives at home and indeed has minor dementia or another reason why some care is needed. And he walks into the living room. In the living room, there's a little presence sensor, and the person triggers the presence sensor. And then from the smart speaker, which is connected to Homey, will come the following message. Good morning. Today is Thursday. It's 8 a.m. and you must take your medicine, which is in the kitchen, in the dispenser. At 10 a.m., the caregiver will come by to help you to take a shower. The curtains will open now, and I'll start the morning news on the TV for you. Have a lovely day. So what do you need for this? You need, of course, a Homey Pro. You need a presence sensor, a smart speaker, and an open-close sensor, which is on top of the medicine box. So if the medicines are indeed opened, you can get a message, or at least it's being tracked, and you can decide whether or not to share this with the people that need to know this kind of information. The curtains are, of course, smart, so these are opened, the lights are on. Maybe you control the temperature as well. And with that, you have the basic setup for somebody to have a comfortable start of the day. That, of course, helps enormously with the self-respect that a person in need may need. Another one, more and more relevant for everyone, is Homey Energy. Since we've been connecting all sorts of devices for 11 years, it's very natural for us to step into the energy sphere. So we can connect all sorts of different brands like heat pumps, solar inverters, cars, and whatnot. And you can automate them, these devices, based on the state, maybe based on the dynamic energy tariff, if you may have that, based on the excess of solar energy that you may have, and direct the energy stream inside your house to make it more comfortable and more affordable. One of these will come back later in the demo. And then, of course, the traditional smart homes. Well, smart homes has always relied in the past on very expensive systems. Smart home, even if there are expensive systems such as KNX or Control 4, we can connect to these systems. So you can actually expand or repair it with much more financially friendly devices. Installation and onboarding. So once you first start with your Homey app, and you can start for free, by the way, you can just download the app. What you will do is you will create your home. So you will start by building your house. How many floors do you have? How many rooms do you have? Or do you have any special zones maybe within that room? As said, if you first install a Homey, you will be asked to build your house. So you set up the different floors, then the different rooms and maybe subspaces. If you then want to add a device, it basically goes as such. So you go on plus, new device, search for, in this case, of course, Shelly. Then you see a list of different products, as there are so many. And then you can connect, in this case, the wave plug, the Z-Wave version. It will show you how the pairing should be done. The pairing itself is then in progress. And as simple as that, there's your device. You can then, of course, move it to the room where you like it. You can give it another name. You can give it and link a certain function to it, for example, dishwasher, and then use it the way you like. If we then go to the next page, like I said, there are many different solar inverters that can be used. Many people have solar inverters, and if you have a solar inverter and it works with an app, you can typically add them to Homey. That allows you to get all sorts of insights on how much of it you self-use, and of course, how much you generate. If you then also connect your home battery, you can direct the energy the way you want it. Maybe you want to charge your battery at the cheapest hours. Since you can connect dynamic energy tariffs, if you have that, of course, to your Homey, you can allocate the steering of your heavy energy using equipment. Same counts, of course, with your electric vehicle. If you have an electric car, you may not want to charge it between the 4 and 7 or 4 and 9 p.m. You may want to charge it overnight or only during the day if you're at home and you have an excess of solar energy. Then you can automate all you like, but maybe you just want to add your voice assistants or other platforms. This will all work with Homey. And you can then just say, hey Alexa, please turn on my TV and the lights in the living room. And there it goes. From Alexa to Homey, your Shelly, your Philips Hue, and maybe your TV, regardless of the technologies and the connectivities used. And then we have local control and remote management. If your smart home is set up, it better work, and even when the internet is down. So with Homey Pro, you can run your home locally. That means that the local devices will still work even though the internet is down, like just happened with me. As an installer, you want to have access to the homies you've installed remotely because you don't want to go there to just make a small change to the device. You can do that now. We have launched our Homey Certified Installer Program. And if you then follow the course and pass the exam, you can get access to the Homey for Installers page, where you can get access to all the homies that you installed. Then, for example, you want to get access to Emma's Homey Pro, you click on the request access. Emma gets a pop-up that you as an installer want to get access to the Homey Pro, and access is granted for 24 hours. In the meantime, you get full-blown access as you are the owner of the Homey Pro for that period of time. If then Emma decides that it's enough, she can revoke the access at any time you like, or she likes. Automations. This is where it all becomes powerful. And the most simple way of making an automation is flow. As you can see here on the left, you can set all sorts of different functionality in the when scenario. So when somebody rang the doorbell, then blink the light in the living room. We will very soon have a demo where the normal flow is being used and it can be extended significantly. So for most people, a simple flow or a basic flow, or flow as we call it, is probably enough. But if you want to do more and create more advanced automations, you can do that with advanced flows. As you can see, it is just as simple. You draw a line from the when scenario. So there's motion detected here and nobody is at home. If really nobody is at home, then you connect it from the top line, which creates a blue line. And then confirm motion detected. If so, wait 5 seconds and then activate the flamethrowers. Activate the alarms lights seen from Philips Hue. And of course, you want to maybe make some extra noise. These, of course, are all jokes. We haven't so far connected flamethrowers yet, but we might as well. We may actually do that in the future. If that's not enough, we have Homey Script. Homey Script is basically a JavaScript-based language, and that even your favorite AI agent, can help you build. This may allow you to do even more with advanced flows, and also if it hits its limitations. The benefit of this is if you use Homey Script, it's very unlikely that your customers will modify these, and you can copy paste them and very often use them in other homes as well. So you have to build these things only once. Dashboards and insights. How nice is it? You can create your ideal overview. Just mix your favorite controls with your favorite insights. See what audio is playing in which room, adjust it, see the weather, have camera streams on the same overview, and everybody can have their own But with everything that we measure, there's so much more. Maybe you want to measure the heat. You want to see which room is mostly used, how often it rains, what the noise levels are, or maybe the air quality. If you can indeed track all of these individual gathered elements, you can build new automations or change the existing ones if you want to improve them. For me personally, the air quality in my house is measured room by room with different devices. I have AirThings products, I have products from IKEA. They all work very well. And then I also measure the outdoor air quality. If the outdoor air quality is better than the indoor air quality and above a certain threshold, then the outdoor air is sucked into the house to make the indoor air quality better. There are so many different things that you can do with this, and your customers might actually be very interested in seeing these kind of things. So I think it's time to go to the demo. So please take the stage, show us what it can do in real life, and then we'll take it further from there.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the shared information, Coen, and for everyone for being very active in the chat. Honestly, thank you very much for your questions and everyone from internal teams like Antonio, Mikel joining and answering. Amazing. Someone in the chat asked, can I do this advanced flows through PC? So exactly as someone answered, the advanced flows with Homey, you have to complete them or create them through PC. But simple flows like this one that I have here with me, you can create them through the mobile app. And something to mention, the entire demo is created around the Homey hub. And this is the, of course, center of my entire setup, entire ecosystem in this household. Imagine this is a household living room, and I've created a flow called movie time. That's why I have a TV. That's why I have shutters. That's why I have different lamps here. And the main goal of this demo also is to show you that with Homey, you can definitely navigate your entire household, and you are not limited to a specific brand or to a specific product. I would say in this demo here, we have different products and different communication protocols like Akara Zigbee, connected through Zigbee. We have Samsung TV. We have Philips Hue lamps connected through Zigbee. We have Shelly 1PM Mini Gen 4 connected through Matter. We have Z-Wave devices of Shelly that are connected straightforward, Z-Wave. The roller shutter is connected with Shelly 2PM Gen 4. What else I have? I have the ceiling lamp. Yeah, I mentioned this. I have Shelly Wave dimmer here with the standing lamp. So basically, I use all these devices to create the movie flow. Something to mention that I forgot to mention that I have a Shelly Wave Plug S here, and I have an imaginative popcorn machine that should turn on once I start the flow or the automation. Okay, so for the purpose, I've downloaded the Homey app, and the first thing that I did, let me show you. Let me know if you can see well. Perfect. Okay, let me just clean the phone quickly. The first thing that I did when I downloaded the app is actually I've added the applications, meaning that I've added the Akara, I've added the Philips Hue, I've added Samsung and Shelly apps, or another way you can call them plugins. This is the way how the devices will be recognized in the application. So the next step that I applied was to click on devices, click the plus button on the top right-hand side, and just follow the steps and guide that the app provides to add the products. So I have all devices here available, as you can see in my setup. The next thing that I did is something really cool. I've enabled the new mood setup. That is a preset that Homey application have, and you can just select a preset mood and have your living room in a specific mood with a specific color. that you choose from the presets. The next step is to create the actual flow. As you can see, I have the movie time flow already created, but the other thing that you can do if you start from scratch, just click the plus on the side, on the top right-hand side, and create a new flow and start adding the steps that the flow requires and you want to accomplish. Okay, I'm just gonna click the movie time and show you what I have here. Okay, let me see. Okay, once we click the Akara Zigbee button before 11 p.m. at night, in the living room, the shutter, the Shelly 2 p.m. will close the living room shutter. The popcorn machine, the imaginative popcorn machine will turn on. Then my standing lamp will dim to 20%. Then the ceiling lamps that are here under the TV, you'll see it in a bit, will turn off and the mood will set to purple, meaning my Philips lamps or Philips Hue lamps and bulbs will change to purple. You'll see it in a bit. And then the Philips Go, the other lamp that I have here, will turn on like bluish, greenish, you'll see it in a bit. And the LED ring of Homey will turn off, which is something really interesting, to not interrupt the movie time, which is pretty cool. And then a push notification to the entire household will be sent to invite everyone from the family to join the living room for an amazing movie night. Then the TV will turn on, and then the next Netflix will go on. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see how it will work. So I have a single button push here. I'm pushing the Akara button, and now let's see the reality. The mood is set. We have the Netflix, we have the mood or mode on purple. Shutter is closed. The ceiling lamp is off. The standing lamp is dimmed. The Homey is off. And the popcorn machine is on. Imagine it. And that's it. And I received a notification. Let me see. Yeah, I have definitely the notification here. All right. You can't see it clearly, but it's there. And when I push twice the button, the room will get back to the official and original setup. So this is the demo that we have here. And I really enjoyed that demo. I think this is one of our best setups that we have in the streaming room. It looks very cozy, amazing, and it works very seamlessly. Perfect. Thank you very much. Coen, I think the second demo is for you, so you can take over.
But I'm afraid I won't be able to do it as good as you did. As you can see on my face, I'm smiling because this is so cool. So this is done with the simplest way that we offer. So flow, and it's very powerful, as you can see. And I think you get a great example with all these different brands, all these different connectivities. So what I have here is an example of advanced flow. So the example is here that we're going to heat or cool the house with excess solar power. So what you need for that is, in this case, I have it says here home battery, so I made a little mistake here, so that happens. I'm a human after all. But if you would have a smart metering device, so that measures the energy balance of your home, that could be any energy meter, and the power that your house consumes is less than 1,000 watts, and nobody is at home. So what are you going to do with this excess energy? It's not worth much if you send it back to the grid in most countries. So what you want to know is, what is the temperature at home? So you can set this either if it's going to be a month. Let's say in the summer you want to use it to cool your house, and in the winter you want to use it to warm your house. but it's probably better you just measure it. So what we here have is 20 degrees as the threshold. So if it's warmer than 20 degrees, you can turn on the air conditioning and set the mode to cool, and then you set the thermostat to 18 degrees. So basically your house is now being chilled with the excess solar energy that you have at home. And then if the temperature is already greater, if it's lower than 20, it probably means that it's winter. And you can add the months here or the whole period or the days of the month or whatever. And then you can switch on the heat pump, set the mode to heat, and then increase the temperature. So that is basically free heating your house. Another one, very simple. This could have also been done in basic, or in flow, by the way, in the standard way of doing that. If the air conditioning is on and somebody opens the door or the window in that same room, the air conditioning will be turned off. So, and then you get a message on your phone, just as we just shown, that the airco is switched off because the window is open to everybody who's at home. You can get a notification in the timeline that this is the reason why the air conditioning was switched off. Another, again, energy related use case is if the heat pump is on and the time is between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. and somebody is at home. Whilst it's one of the 2 most expensive hours of the day, then either you're gonna lower the temperature. But if it's not one of the 2 most expensive hours of the day, and it's one of the cheapest hours of the day, you can increase the temperature to 21 degrees. So if the heat pump is turned on and the time is between 8 and 9 p.m. and somebody is at home, and it's one of the 2 most expensive hours of the day, you can of course switch off the heat pump, but it will be too cold at home. It's not very comfortable. So what you can do is automatically lower it a little bit, so your heat pump uses less energy. But if it's not the most expensive hours of the day, then with the advanced flow, you take the bottom one, which turns orange, yellowish. And then if it's one of the 2 cheapest hours of the day, you can increase the temperature and then basically do thermal buffering of your house. That is one of the ways that you can use advanced flow. Of course, there are a million others. I promised not to scare people. I showed one to Janae earlier today, where I built my own alarm system, which had hundreds of different flow cards with my own audio in there, with all the different speakers connected. But that's up for you to play around with and find what works best for the scenario that you need it for. So that's basically demo number 2, which means that it's time for Q&A.
Okay, am I on? Perfect. Once again, thank you very much for the presentation. I can see a huge communication is going in the chat. So please add all your open questions here. Thank you everyone for internally answering some of the questions right away. Amazing. I think this webinar is pretty nice, pretty cool, and I really like the engagement. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. Okay, let's see. There is one question that I really right away would like to read. Coen, is Shelly a strategic partner with Homey, or is this collaboration more idealistic?
Well, I can definitely say that we have a strategic alliance here. It's very simple. I think together we can make the world understand that smart home and connected houses is much more than individual parties trying to achieve something. And if we work together, as we do today, we definitely can teach the market and benefit from each other's strengths. And I think everybody that's active in this business being a manufacturer, being a platform like us, or being an installer, we will have to educate each other and also the market in order to create the awareness, create the benefits of smart home, and with that, grow the entire category.
Perfect. Amazing. Okay. Thank you very much. The next question that I will right away ask, how does Homey compare to Home Assistant?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So Home Assistant is a fantastic platform. Let's start with that. But Home Assistant is not ready for people that do not know the technical things that you need to know in order to work with Home Assistant. Home Assistant is built by a community of people that are very technical, but it also requires technical skills and knowledge to be able to do that. And as we've shown you today, with Homey, it's much easier for everyone to set it up, to install it. It's very user-friendly. And I think the biggest difference here is that we have our own hardware, so the core of the product is being taken care of. And the core of the product is indeed the hardware and the firmware that runs on it and the operating system. So you don't have to be scared that your products are falling behind, you didn't update them, and that you may lose your smart home. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. The next question is, will there be a Shelly Hub in the future, or do you have advice to use Homey? So maybe this is more for us. At the moment, we don't really have the answer, I would say. So our recommendation would be, please use Homey. The next question, what about when you want to use two Homeys, one on another location?
Oh, you
This is
can.
exactly how it is written.
Yeah, well, you can. In fact, I am part of 7 Homeys myself. And you can also use multiple. So within your account, you can have different homes, different locations, because the locations are based around the Homey. But then if you have a very large house or maybe a professional situation where then you can link multiple Homeys to each other as an extension and then create a super network. So both these scenarios are indeed possible.
Very much. The next question, I made the exam but still not get the installer access. Okay, the advert material, could you help? This is for us, the installer portal. I'm gonna write my email right away to the chat. Please send me an email.
And we indeed are also probably, maybe this question is also around the Homey installer, a certified installer thing. We're to be honest, it's a little bit more it's quite a bit more successful than we thought it would be. So we are working really hard on improving this, and I'm very sorry if that is slowing down your process and maybe impacting your enthusiasm, but we will definitely improve and make it better for you even if in the future. So bear with us here.
Okay, yeah. So 2 separate programs, one with Homey, and Shelly has their program as well. So yeah, perfect. How about integration with Victron GX, reading MPPT and BMS status for managing the power of the entire system?
Yeah, so integrations are always done in 2 ways. So we have official integrations, so official apps. You have to see Homey as an operating system, and then the apps, as shown during the demo, is how the different brands or maybe the different devices are added to Homey. So it could be that there are indeed devices or brands that we don't have yet. So either you can make a community app yourself or somebody that you know, or you can request an official brand on our website. And from there onwards, it's our team who will work on that. Of course, there will always be brands that we don't support, but we are working really hard. And if you see how many brands we've added and how many devices we've added over the last years, I think we're definitely the leader in that.
Perfect. About the next question right away. About the local control plus remote management, are the users' IoT devices present somehow in the Homey cloud? Are the users' IoT devices present somehow in the Homey cloud is the question. And the next one from this same person is, does Homey have access to the users' IoT devices data on the Homey cloud site?
That's a very good question. I'm happy to that this question is actually raised. Let's start with the first one. If devices are paired to a Homey Pro, so local devices are paired to the Homey Pro, they stay within the Homey Pro. They can be controlled via outside connectivity, so via the cloud. We, as Homey, the way Homey is built, cannot see which Homey has which devices until the owner of the Homey makes a diagnostic report, for example, for which we are able to see a certain period of time if we see that the diagnostic reports. But I cannot even tell you how many users in the Netherlands use Shelly. I can only see how many people or how many Homeys have installed the Shelly app globally. So this is how far our data protection goes.
Okay. Can I use Homey on Shelly wall display? Not at the moment is the short answer.
Yeah. So this is one of the examples where we're slightly behind, but that's definitely work in progress.
Okay, the next question. A lot of questions. Thank you. I have my unified camera that talks with Homey with the webhook events.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And probably the next question will be, can I get the live video streams? That's probably what the question is about. So it's a feature that is in development. It's a very complicated feature to make it work for all the different brands. So that's also what makes our work difficult. But if you bear with us here, then we will surprise you sooner than later.
Perfect. Homey can work together with Home Assistant, or we can consider those as competitors. I mean, this seems integrating as protocol gateway.
Yeah, so again, I would not like to see each other as competitors. Why? We serve a different market. And I think we should work together to make the awareness and the benefits of smart home greater. There are definitely possibilities to integrate one another. And I think there are actually initiatives on this. I don't know the exact status of that, but I've heard a few things here and there from all sides. So also in the communities, and because there are a lot of people that use both, and why not?
Just a second. I'm having communication while we are picking the questions because the chat have a lot of questions. Okay, let me see the next one. Is Homey also compatible with Tuya devices and sensors?
So there are a few community apps at this moment that work with Tuya devices. We have had an official integration with Tuya that, however, was ended for a number of reasons. And that's a shame because users want it, there may be something there may be a route towards a new integration here. However, as being the audience here, predominantly installers, and of course there are financial benefits to work with TUIA devices. However, you must understand also that the manufacturing quality and the quality of service and the quality of the data and the data protection are generally not the ones that work with, or at least on the right standard, are generally not the TUIA devices. There are so many beautiful manufacturers in Europe that make much better devices. And yeah, maybe they come at a premium, but the quality of both the products and the output of them is significantly higher than what we see on free or sponsored platforms such as TUIA.
Great. Is it possible to give the end customer partial access so that they do not accidentally delete the flow, causing it to no longer function?
Yes, this is possible. You can assign different roles in Homey. And indeed, if they do not have an owner role, they cannot break these things. This is also one of the reasons why advanced flows or scripts can be very useful. Scripts by default tend to be scary. You cannot find them in the app. Advanced flows cannot be changed in the app. So for these kind of things, I think the average user will not be able to change them regardless of the role that they have. But a role that is not an owner is probably the best way for the average person. However, if you use the Homey installer tools, you will need to have, because you will be shown as being the installer, and somebody in that household has to remain to be the owner of the household. The rest of the people that live in that house will have a different role.
Can you use the Homey bridge as well to expand your range?
Yes, absolutely.
The question is here.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the benefits of Homey bridge is indeed, if you want, let's say 433 megahertz expansion, because the reach from your Homey Pro is limited, or if you want infrared in a different room, then you can add a Homey bridge, and it will just serve as the antenna or the controller in that specific location.
Okay, and the last question that we have here, what features are subscription-based and require a monthly payment?
Well, if you have a Homey Pro, then all services are included for life. If indeed you have a Homey Cloud or Homey Premium, so Homey Cloud is our free service where you can connect only cloud-connected products. Homey Premium is unlimited devices, but only cloud-connected. So then there will be no local processing. For that, you need a Homey Pro. And then we have Homey Bridge, which allows you to have local protocols such as Z-Wave and Zigbee to be connected to your Homey, but then again, the processing will be done in the cloud. In the free account, so the free version, which is called Homey Cloud, you will not have advanced flows. You will not have dashboards. You will have a limited functionality, but then again, it's a free product. If you have Homey Premium, most of these functionalities will become available.
Okay, perfect. The next question, do you have a list of what Shelly devices are supported by Homey and what protocol is used?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the benefit. You can see all of that from any brand that we have, more than all 1,000 brands in the Homey App Store. If you go to the Homey App Store, you go to our website Homey, and then on the top you can find the App Store. You can just search for the brand that you want, and you can have a list of all the different products that are connected. And I think with Shelly specifically, there's maybe one missing, which is this beautiful wall-mounted screen.
Great. Okay, this is the last question that actually we answered in the presentation. There are more questions in the Q&A, but I just got the message from our internal team that we'll go through the questions and answer them. That was a great collaboration between our internal teams. Specifically for the Q&A. Thank you very much for the help, everyone. We had a lot of questions, and we still have a lot of questions to answer. So the activity is great. Coen, thank you very much for accepting once again the invitation and sharing with us all this interesting information, details about Homey. It was a very, very, very productive webinar.